Welcome to this explainer. Right now, we're jumping straight into a bizarre but entirely universal physical sensation, the sudden, totally uncontrollable body flinch. Think about a time someone unexpectedly tossed you a set of keys when you weren't looking, or a door just slammed shut down the hall out of nowhere. You know the exact feeling I'm talking about, right? That split-second jolt where your body just moves, completely on its own, totally bypassing your rational mind. It's this fascinating quirk of human biology, and honestly, the science behind why it happens completely rewrites how we understand fear, survival, and our own brains. So let's dive into our central mystery here. Why do you flinch before you even see? Why does your body take defensive action before your conscious mind even has a clue what's happening? Well, the truth is, somewhere deep inside your skull is a rogue decision maker, and it does not wait for permission. It doesn't consult logic, and it for sure doesn't pause to check if a threat is actually real. It moves your body first, and, well, it explains itself later. Just picture this scenario. We've all been there. A shadow moves in the corner of your eye. Instantly, your heart jumps, your shoulders pull in, your hands are already halfway up to protect your face. And then, a full half second later, your brain finally catches up and tells you what happened. Oh, it was just a curtain moving in the breeze. See, you didn't flinch because you saw the curtain. You flinched before you saw anything at all. Your conscious brain was literally left scrambling to catch up and explain your body's reaction after the fact. Section 1. Your brain's two pathways. Uncovering the suspects. To really understand how this bodily hijack is even possible, we gotta look at the wiring inside our heads. So, neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux spent decades mapping exactly how this happens, and he discovered something amazing. There isn't just one pathway in the brain for processing threats. There are actually two distinct routes. Route 1 is your slow, deliberate, analytical brain. This slow path runs through your cortex. This is the part responsible for conscious thought. It carefully identifies what you're looking at, checks it against your memory, and decides how to respond. Now, it's incredibly accurate, but in survival terms, it is painfully slow. On the flip side, the fast path skips almost all of that analysis and shoots straight to a tiny, almond-shaped structure deep in your brain called the amygdala. Ledoux famously called this the quick and dirty pathway. It's quick because it can trigger a full-body physical response in just a fraction of a second. But it's dirty because, honestly, it is very, very often wrong. You see, the amygdala doesn't wait for confirmation. It doesn't care if that curved shape in the grass is a deadly snake or just a curled-up garden hose. It pulls the alarm at the mere possibility of danger, instantly, before your conscious mind has even finished loading the image. It operates purely on the philosophy of better safe than sorry. It's like picturing a security guard and a committee working in the exact same building. The amygdala is this ancient, hyper-vigilant security guard whose only job is to slam the emergency door shut the second anything unusual happens. No questions asked. Meanwhile, the cortex is the committee, slowly filing into the room, taking their seats, grabbing some coffee, and calmly reviewing the footage to see if the alarm was actually necessary. But here's the kicker. By the time the rational committee actually sits down to reach a verdict, the security guard has already acted. Every single time. Section 2. The Ancestral Shortlist. Preloaded Fears. Now, you might be wondering, if our amygdala reacts before we can even think, how does it know what to look for? How do our brains seemingly know exactly what to be afraid of before we've ever personally experienced it? Well, psychologist Arne Oman set up some really remarkable experiments to figure this out. He flashed hidden images in front of people for a fraction of a second, like way too fast for conscious recognition. And he found that over and over again, people scanned for danger and picked out images of snakes and spiders significantly faster than they picked out harmless things like flowers or mushrooms. Basically, your brain is quite literally scanning for danger before you even know you're looking. The crucial point here is this fascinating phenomenon called prepared learning. It turns out certain fears, snakes, spiders, sudden loud noises, looming shapes, they aren't things you have to painstakingly learn to be afraid of through bad encounters. Nope. Your brain arrives with a head start. It's pre-wired with an ancestral shortlist of things that have been killing primates for millions of years. Just think about the vast span of time it took to develop that built-in security system. You don't fear spiders because one hurt you. You fear them because generation after generation, humans who lacked that built-in fear were just slightly more likely to get bitten. Eventually, the fear itself became standard equipment. And the evolutionary math behind this is just staggering. It was a highly purposeful trade-off for your ancestors' brains to make. Think about it. It was 100 times better for early humans to flinch at a harmless stick that wasn't a snake than to hesitate even one single time at a snake that actually was one. That one single hesitation Boom, removed from the gene pool entirely. Flinching 100 times unnecessarily was simply the cost of doing business to ensure absolute survival on attempt 101. Section 3. The modern mismatch. When texts feel like leopards. So, why does all this ancient hardware matter to you today, sitting in a modern home with locked doors, where there literally are no leopards for 1,000 miles? Well, psychologist Robert Zajans argued a theory that sounded totally backwards to scientists at the time. He proposed that emotional reactions can occur before and entirely independently of conscious thought. Sometimes the fear gets there first, and the thinking arrives afterward, scrambling to explain the physical reaction your body just had. You don't always feel afraid because you thought something through. You feel afraid because your ancient hardware just activated. Just think about how drastically our environment has changed. 200,000 years ago, sudden movement meant a leopard in the tall grass. 100,000 years ago, it was a predator at the edge of a clearing. Today, it's a blinking text notification on a glowing screen. This right here is the modern mismatch. The incredible irony of our daily lives is that your ancient amygdala never got the memo that the world updated. The software is ancient, but the hardware is plugging right along in the 21st century. So today, that exact same survival alarm gets pulled by entirely modern, completely non-lethal threats. A popping balloon, a blaring car horn, a tense email hitting your inbox, an unexpected knock at the door, or even just a slight shift in your boss's tone of voice. Your fast brain doesn't distinguish between a prehistoric predator in the brush and a stressful message on a digital screen. It simply senses something sudden, something unpredictable, and it acts instantly to protect you. Section 4. An ancient survival feature, reframing the flinch. So when you jump at a balloon popping, or your chest tightens at a car horn, or you flinch at a totally harmless spider on your wall, that is absolutely not a weakness. You don't ever need to apologize for jumping at a loud noise. That response is simply proof that a 200,000-year-old alarm system, refined over hundreds of thousands of years of close calls, is still running flawlessly inside you, exactly as it was designed to. It's just aimed at a world that no longer matches the wild one it evolved for. There's a really profound realization to take away from all this. Your ancestors who hesitated, they are not your ancestors. Seriously, think about what would have happened to an early human who paused to calmly analyze a rustling in the tall grass to rationally conclude if it was a leopard. Yeah, they didn't survive to pass that careful, deliberate brain down to you. Only the early humans who flinched first and asked questions later made it far enough to have children, who had children who eventually had you. So the next time you feel your body react before your mind has caught up, remember what's actually happening. A signal completely bypassed your slow cortex, shot straight to your amygdala, and an ancient guard built long before language or fire decided to keep you safe. You didn't flinch because you saw something to fear. You flinched because, for 100,000 years, the humans who waited to be sure didn't get a second chance. Makes you wonder, will you ever look at a sudden jump the exact same way again? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the amazing mechanics of your own mind.